Welcome to the Go Legal Yourself podcast. I'm your host, Attorney Kelly Bagla, the Queen of Business Law. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Peggy Lebo. Peggy is an incredible singer and the founder of the True Voice Method. And she works with podcasters such as yours truly, speakers and singers to help them find and free their true voice so they can become a voice of influence to inspire others and attract their clients. Welcome to the show, Peggy.
Thank you, Kelly. It's so great to be here with you. You're my favorite.
This, thank you. Please, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're my favorite podcaster, so I'm honored to be here today.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. The honor is truly mine, Peggy. Thank you. You're my favorite Peggy.
I'm going to use that on my card.
I think you should. I think you should. Out of all of the guests, right? So I am not going to I'm not going to be selective when it comes to my guests because I've had some fantastic guests, but I am so incredibly excited to have you on the show, Peggy, because I believe you're a best kept secret. And it's time for the world to know who you are, Peggy. You need to come out and shine. And today is your massive debut on Go Legal Yourself.
Oh, thank you so much. And that means the world to me.
Well, thank you very much. Peggy, do you have a joke to share with our fantastic friends that are listening?
Okay, so let me just preface this with I am one of the worst joke tellers, but that actually makes it funny. So, so here's my joke. What do lawyers use for birth control?
What do they use?
Their personalities.
You get a gold star. I haven't heard that one before, but that one's pretty funny.
Right? Because there's so many. That one, I found that one like 1 o'clock in the morning after 2 hours on Google.
That's going to be one of my favorites. And another one that I hadn't heard, which is pretty funny. A couple of episodes ago, I had a guest on the show, Mike Slater. He's a radio personality here in San Diego. And his joke was, "Oh, Kelly, I broke a mirror this morning and I think I'm going to get 7 years, but my lawyer thinks she can get me 5."
I love that joke.
That's a funny one. I sure do like that one. So, from working as Minnie Mouse for kids' birthday parties to working with international celebrities to co writing songs such as Celebrate and Now I Can See, as a results driven voice coach working with hundreds of people. Peggy, we're all on pins and needles to listen to your entrepreneurial journey. Please share with us, how did you become this incredible voice of influence?
Mostly by accident.
Literally, right?
Literally, exactly. Um, one of the jobs that I had when I was in graduate school, and a group of friends of us would meet once a week, and we would have a contest for who had the worst job. And one of the weeks that I won, it was when I was working as a telemarketer for the We Tip anti-crime hotline. And so I get there, and the only uh, training we get is some guy who's had 4 cups of coffee, and he just reads this awkward script for 10 minutes and then puts us on the phones. And within 2 weeks, I decided this is it. This is the worst job ever. I'm going to quit. And so all of a sudden, I thought, what would happen if I were to take what I've been learning as a vocalist and apply it to my speaking voice? And I thought, who can, I'm quitting this job anyway. So what have I got to lose? So I just started to look and said, okay, what do I have as a vocalist that I could bring to my voice? Okay, I've got melody. I could use different parts of my voice. I've got rhythm. I've got tempo. I've got, where do you create space between the sound? All those things. And within a few weeks, I ended up being one of their top salespeople. much to
Wow.
they were shocked. They would like literally stand in the doorway and look at me and shake their heads like, how is she doing this? It makes no sense. But what I had found was my true voice. What I had found it's the way that I express myself uniquely, that was authentic. And people respond to that. And so that was unknowingly the birth of the work that I do with podcasters and speakers.
Peggy, just from your voice, honestly, it's so warm. It's so loving. I just feel like giving you a massive hug.
I can't wait till we actually can.
I know, I know. Absolutely. I'm counting down the damn weeks.
But so with your voice, I feel that right away. I remember the first time that I spoke with you, what came through is your warmth. What came through is your genuine caring about people and wanting to be of service. And also that you love what you do, which is always, I think, a shock to people. It sounds like, you mean, what you do is amazing and you bring life to it. And
Thank
you
you.
genuinely care for people. And I also I feel in your voice honesty.
Thank you. Thank you. I have never ever come across another individual such as yourself. That's why you are my favorite, Peggy, uh, that can really take what people are saying, right? Just the way they are saying something. I've got to share this quick little story for my fantastic friends that are listening. Anyone can change the way they speak. Anyone can. When Margaret Thatcher first got into politics, she was the daughter of a grocer, a grocery store owner. And her voice was very timid and it was very scratchy. And when she would stand in the House of Commons, which is very similar to Congress here, nobody would listen to her because her voice was just so screechy and so scratchy. They would say, "You're hurting my ears. Please don't say anything." She had a gift. She knew how to run a country like Great Britain. At one point, it was the largest. There was a saying that the sun never sat on the British Empire, and Margaret Thatcher became the very first female of this incredible country. And for her to be heard, she had to project, right? She had to project confidence. She had to project the passion she was bringing to the House of Commons. So she got some voice lessons, and before long, she commanded the room. Peggy, I'm getting goosies as we're speaking right now because just the incredible power one can use just from their voice, right? The power that one commands just by using their voice. And this is what you bring to life. Talk to me about it. Tell me, how did you discover your voice?
Well, I think a huge shift happened when I learned how to embody my voice. Because if you listen to the people that are the voices of influence, they are so connected to their breath and to their body. And they also bring their presence, their full attention, and are willing to be vulnerable and be totally who they are. So you listen to Margaret Thatcher, sounds very different than Tony Robbins, but they each are compelling, dynamic voices of influence because they found their unique expression, and they were willing to be vulnerable and really show up.
Absolutely. If people haven't heard, just on Audibles, I had just done a sidebar recently, and or I will be doing a sidebar recently, and it's about how to follow in the footsteps of successful people. So one of the habits that a successful person does is they either read or they listen to books constantly. And I've been a member of Audibles now for probably about 5 or 6 years. I wish I had started earlier, but you live and learn, right? This is how you grow as an individual. And through the Audibles, I've been listening to Tony Robbins. Peggy, before I met you, I was in awe of these speakers. as a public speaker, I want to command attention. I want to learn how to draw people in because I have some valuable information to share with them and I want them to resonate with that information. How is somebody going to really pay 100% attention to you while you're trying to talk to them about the sexiest topic in the world, legal?
Well, you make it sexy.
And I brought that to you, Peggy. I said, in full disclosure, I personally work with Peggy, and it has been a life changer for me. Just the little things that I had to tweak in my personal life, and it's just it's blown me, blown me away as to my performance from just a month ago, Peggy, just a month ago. So with you, Peggy, I got to learn how to stay connected with me, with myself, right? Not at the paper, not at the audience, not at someone sitting in the front row, but with me. And right now, because we are recording through Zoom, I can see you literally get closer and closer to the camera because you're listening. We're connected right now. And this is what every public speaker needs to do, is connect with the audience, draw them in. And you taught me that. What an incredible talent.
Well, first of all, you're such a natural. And so, I mean, you already were great at what you do, but when you bring, like, this is something I wish I had known when I started, is that when you bring all your attention back to yourself, you become magnetic. Just
I
like you were
love
saying.
that word. I love that. I'm so sorry to interject, Peggy. I love that word, magnetic. Yes.
Yes, and those are the people that are voices of influence, the people that are magnetic, and the only way to do that is to bring your attention back to yourself, connect with your breath, connect with your body, drop in, like, so you can really feel the resonance of your voice, and then that's what people experience.
And it's not only the 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 inflection of the voice, right? But it's the timing. It's the timing as to when to emphasize something and then when to pause. So information seeps in, right? It seeps in. When as a speaker, I usually hold workshops. And again, the sexiest topic on earth on law, right? And as speakers, we want to rush through things because we've got an agenda. We have to cover a certain amount of information. But that's okay. You have to emphasize the important parts and how to do that. Peggy, you've totally changed my life.
Oh, well, you are so amazing to work with. Like, you were such a fast learner, and you're just so, you have so much joy. That's your natural uh, way of expressing yourself, and you were able to bring that joy to a topic that, for a lot of us, it's something that we all as entrepreneurs need to know about. This is really important to protect your business, to understand the legal parts of things. You bring joy to that. You bring like your loving and caring attention to that, and draw me in. Like, honestly, you're the only person who could ever get me to listen to this, the legal life cycle. There's no way. It's because I have a very short attention span, like less than a goldfish for sure. And so for me, that's why I am so drawn to people that embody their voice and that are magnetic the way that you are. And it's so cool. And there's simple things you can do too. And the first step is really to slow down. Take a deep breath, connect with your breath, bring your attention to your body, bring your attention to your heart. Because the reason that we're even doing this is because we want to be of service. We care about the people we want to serve. We care about what we're talking about. So when you take a step back, go into your heart, all of a sudden you can feel more of your own way of expression. and it's very similar to music. So that was the thing that really struck me. So in music, you have places where you get louder. So dynamics are a huge part of being a magnetic speaker. It's all about creating unpredictability. That's what keeps people's attention. So if you things you can change your dynamic levels, you change your pitch, so you use all different parts of your voice, just like you would a melody. And you also have to leave space. That's one of the most important parts of really owning your voice and owning the room.
Pearls of wisdom that literally has changed people's lives. Take my incredible friends that are listening to you right now, take them through the journey, Peggy, from when you started singing to you becoming such an incredible voice coach.
Oh, how far? So my first, I'll take you, my first performance ever, I was like 8 years old. And at the time, so my dad was a professional athlete and everything was competition. And I was super competitive, I had to get A's, had to be the best at everything. And so I get it, my first talent show, I get in the talent show and I make it to the finals. And there's 4 acts in the finals. And I saved like my big number for that moment. And my big number, I taught my dog to bark when I squeezed him. So I sang "How Much Is That Doggy in the Window," and then I would squeeze my dog twice and he would bark.
I can picture it.
He was a little buck-toothed dachshund, which makes it even better. Fast, Sammy. So I get up there and in the middle of the song, I realize how funny it is. So I start laughing. The whole audience is laughing and I'm laughing and tears are running down my face. And of course I was disqualified. But what happened is I had this incredible experience of joy. And I didn't care like that the baton twirlers won. I didn't care about that because I had the experience of expressing myself with my voice and making people laugh. And to this day, those are the things that still bring me joy and that have informed my journey. So from there, I went to school, got my degrees in voice and in piano and in songwriting, and was fortunate to get the opportunity when I was working up in LA to be part of artist development for new singers and songwriters. And so I just fell in love with the process of helping somebody else to find their unique voice. And I still feel that way. I get so excited because when I hear someone speak or when I hear someone sing, I hear the potential in their voice. I hear what it could be. And so I get so excited to help people with finding that and having it be not just in their voice, but in their life. Because if you make a change in your voice, you change your life. You start to have a voice in other areas of your life. And so I went from there. And then one day I was going to the studio to record the song. And it was one of those aerobic videos. And I wrote like a terrible song for it. And so I'm in my car practicing to go sing this terrible song. And I got hit by a semi. And the semi hit my car and it pushed me, and it didn't know that it hit me. So he pushed me down the freeway 1.5 miles, 5 north. And so my car crunched around me and I miraculously survived. And I remember during that time, it took about 2 years to fully recover. But I decided, it was such a wake-up call. Here I'd been doing this for other people, but kind of the missing piece was me really doing that for myself. And so I took those 2 years to really find my own voice and out of that experience, started writing my own and producing my own albums. But yeah, it was it's also really different to be the person coaching someone else to find their voice and then being the person who has to actually go do it for themselves. It gives you a lot more compassion.
Right. What an incredible story. You literally had to, you were in an accident, an actual car accident, for you to maybe take a step back and discover your true self.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And anybody who's out there that's been putting something off, whether it's starting this new business or something that you've been wanting to pursue, do it now. That was such a big message, because I always had this idea. I had this list of things, an order of things, but that always got pushed to the front. It was um, always thought there'd be time, but you just don't know. Now is the time.
Now is the time. Exactly. Exactly. I was having a conversation with one of my guests. Again, it was Mike Slater. And we were talking about why are entrepreneurs so different? What are the characteristics of an entrepreneur? And as we're talking about these characteristics, you have to be a go-getter. You have to chase every opportunity. You have to, yes, you're going to fail, but you don't just lay there in a fetal position and cry because you failed. That's an opportunity for you to learn how not to do it next time, right? Everything, Peggy, is an opportunity. But during that phase, from you learning to where you get to your successful state, you discover your true self. And I had discovered my true self, Peggy, because I was, this is going to come as a shocker. Yes, I know. I used to be so shy. I was so shy in
Oh,
school. I was an introvert. I I was always hiding in class thinking, please, teacher, don't pick on me, don't pick on me. And if I was picked on, I would start shaking. I was that scared. I was that
wow.
scared.
I would never, ever know that.
And knowing that, just changing a little bit about how you project your voice, how you use, let's just even forget about projecting. Let's say how you use your voice. It's incredible the attention that you can command. This is what all these, internationally reclaimed speakers, they all do that. They have their audience's attention. I wish I could have gone to a seminar of Zig Ziglar, right? I
Oh,
have,
yeah.
if people haven't heard Zig Ziglar's or they haven't read his books, drop everything, drop what you're doing right now, jump on Audibles, become a member of Audibles and start listening to this stuff. It will literally change your life. He is funny as hell. And the way he projects his voice too, Peggy, especially when he's talking about sales, right? We're all in the business of sales. We all are. He drops his voice, right? When he says, and you can sign right here on the dotted line, and he's like, okay, I'll sign. Where do you want me to sign, right?
Whatever you want, I'll do it.
But all of this was not resonating with me until I met you. I'm talking from personal experience. I've worked with you. The changes that you have made for me, Peggy. Let's talk about those.
Okay. So, what I heard when I first started working with you, first, you're just a natural talent and you have such a great voice. Um, Sometimes I think because of our culture and even the kind of job you had, sometimes you would be in your head and then sometimes you would be in your body. So when we're in our heads, we don't have impact. The words don't have life. But when we're connected, when you bring your attention down to your, like I would say, bring your attention down to your belly, bring your attention to your heart, bring your attention back from other people onto yourself and what it is that you're expressing. And all of a sudden, you have everybody's attention, because that's just the nature of the way things work in our world. So for you, it's just a few tweaks, but I think now understanding where you started, that tells me a little bit about why you would do that. because I mean, I had a very similar experience as a kid, being very scared. And so being in your head is a very safe space, especially like you have a great brain. So it's like a great place for you to be. So
You've
it's
heard
like,
that saying, right? Some of the best conversations are the ones that you have with yourself.
exactly. Because who else is going to agree with everything you say? But I've noticed, like, I hear such a huge difference. You were already really great, but I feel like the energetics of the shift that you made and the energy, just like you said, like as you're talking, I can feel myself being drawn in, even on Zoom, which is like huge, but just drawn into you. And also too, I feel like there's a shift in space where you leave space. And I think because remember when we first talked, you said that the two people that you liked, that you wanted to sound like, were Margaret Thatcher and Tony Robbins. So I thought, where do these connect?
Right. That was homework for you, Peggy.
It was. That was like that was almost as tough as getting a lawyer joke no one's heard. So, Margaret Thatcher, one of the biggest shifts that she made, which I see in you absolutely, is that commanding presence, because you already had confidence, and I can't really teach confidence. That's a long-term thing. You already had that. There's so many things you already had. It was just connecting them all. So uh, I noticed that the shift that Margaret Thatcher made is she started to leave space, and you have to be confident to leave space for things to land, because you have to own, and you have to stay connected, just as connected to the sound as you do to the space. And so I noticed that for you. And then with Tony Robbins, his whole thing is about pacing. If you listen, he's like incredible at that, at pacing and dynamics, where you bring something, you get a little bit faster, maybe a little bit louder, then bring it down a little bit softer, and then leave a space. So what for you stood out the most with the shift? Like, what is it that you feel made a difference?
Definitely the space, definitely. It's been brought to my attention, Peggy, that I am a fast talker. So as soon as these podcasts, my guest podcast releases, my husband will listen to them. And the one thing he said, obviously, brilliant, loved the wittiness, loved the information, incredible information. He said, but you have to slow down, sweetheart. You have to slow down. And he goes, I know that you get passionate about something, but that's okay. But there's so much valuable information that people want to know what it is. And you rush through it because you're so excited about it. So when you said space, create space, it's okay. It's okay to have space and pause. Right. So I've learned the how to pause, when to pause, how to project an important word, right? So for you, Peggy, when I introduced you, I said Peggy is an incredible singer. I could have just ran through that because I was so excited for you to be on the on the show and start to interview on the show. But it's so important to understand your background and where you come from. And it was creating space, and it was emphasizing the important words that you want people to leave with, that you want people to resonate with. And it was the product here, the product that you're listening to is because of you, Peggy. Thank you for saying, yes, I was, I had the talent, but it's sharpening it, right? So my favorite color is diamond.
Because it's all colors.
That's my favorite color. And then when you actually find an extremely beautiful diamond, all diamonds, they come out murky from the mines, right? They come out murky, and it's up to you to sort of polish the diamond, maybe make it more sharper on this end or make it more softer on that end. Your training, your coaching what you do is you sharpen diamonds. That's you,
Oh,
you sharpen diamonds. And
love
this is
that.
something, yeah, this is something my husband brought to my attention. He goes, you know, you're an absolute diamond, but that you always, to really shine, to really get the full effect of the shine of the diamond, you have to sharpen it in certain ways. And that's where you came in. I want to talk to you, Peggy, about working with celebrities, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are such an incredible talent yourself. I've never, like I said, I've never come across a person such as yourself that is a singer, that teaches, genuinely wants to teach others how to use their voice. Because these singers, it's always about, yes, I'm a singer, fantastic for you, that's wonderful what you've done. But you take it a step further that I've never seen. You want to teach others how to use their voice, because we have a voice. Each and every one of us here in America, we have a voice. It's up to us to use it or not.
Absolutely. And we're so fortunate as women to live in this place and in this time, and that our voices matter. I mean, there's been a huge shift in consciousness, in the world, but especially in our country, where women are now able to be voices of influence in a way they never have before. And the opportunities we have, it's amazing. And so to me, also too, I think I'm a huge uh, fan of story, and I think everyone has incredible story, and I love being able to support people with being able to tell that, being able to express that in a way that no one else can. There's what you're doing, no one else can do in the way that you do it, and no one else can express it the way that you do. And so yeah, to me, I get really excited about that. I always have since I was a kid. Always. And because my dad was a speaker. So I remember kind of being in awe of people that could command the room like that.
It's very powerful, isn't it? Very powerful to experience that.
Oh yeah. And to know, and I think sometimes that we're afraid of the things that, uh, well, you mean, there's that famous quote, which I'm sure I'm going to like really not remember well at all, but that we're afraid of our greatness. And I think that, um, that especially as women, that desire and that fear of shining, being that diamond, that wanting to bring the light through and to shine, but at the same time being afraid of it. But when you bring your presence to, what I found is that when you bring your presence to the work, when you show up with your whole self, with your whole heart, that's the bigger energy, and the greatest energy wins.
That quote, or the paraphrase of that quote that you just said, Peggy, whoever wrote that clearly didn't know you or me.
We'll have to come up with our own.
We definitely have to. Definitely, yes. Peggy, tell me about, if you had to do it all over again, what would be the one thing you would change?
Oh, I would have asked for help. I wouldn't have tried to do it all myself and to be great at everything. I think that's kind of how we're trained as kids. Like when you go to school, you're expected to be good at everything. And it's impossible. We're not built that way. And so we can become, especially as entrepreneurs, people that try to do everything ourselves. And so I would definitely have um, received and asked for help more.
Why is it that these certain topics are not taught in school? One of them would be entrepreneurship,
Oh,
right? It's only
right.
been, right? It's only been taught in college, and that's if you seek for it. The other one is budgeting. Every kid should know how to budget and what the worth of a dollar is. Every kid should know. The other
That's
massive,
the most important math that there is, that the math that you'll actually use in your life.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, how many chocolates can I buy, with $1, right? If I want to have a chocolate every day for 1 week, how do I budget? That's simple math. I can do that.
If we brought chocolate into it, I would have been all over that.
Exactly, right. And the kid that wins, at the end of the week gets a box of chocolates. Give them some incentive to work towards. But the other massive subject that really should be taught in school at a younger age is how to use your voice.
Absolutely. I I wish I had what I try to give to the young girls I work with. I have a program to help young girls to find and free their voice and be able to know that their voice matters and to be able to speak up at a young age. And I teach them the things I wish I had known. And can you imagine if you really felt that you had a voice and knew how to use it at 10 years old? Like
Oh
what
my
would
God, I would be ruling the world right now.
I still think you have a chance.
We do, Peggy. Let's do it.
Got some ideas. We're ready to go.
Let's do it, girlfriend. Let's do it. But I have I know for a fact that you've created some CDs, right? You've written some and sang some incredibly beautiful, heart touching songs. I was on your website. I was listening to them, and
Oh,
yes,
thank you.
I'm definitely going to be buying them. I was clicking buy now, buy now, buy now. Right? But tell us obviously where someone can go to find your information, and your information is definitely going to be part of our show notes.
Oh, thank you. It's you can go to Peggy Lebo, Lebo.com, and you can hear the music there and hear about the True Voice coaching and all the work that I do. So,
You, Peggy, you need to be an essential for every business owner. Every business owner, you need to be an essential. You are just as essential, and I'm saying this as a lawyer, as a business attorney. When someone's starting their business, they have to incorporate to protect their personal assets, to protect their family. They must incorporate. But along with that, they have to get some coaching from you. It's just a must. It's amazing what you do in just a couple of sessions.
oh, thank you. Well, I feel it's essential because your voice is your connection and your relationship with your voice affects your relationships with your clients and all the people in your life. Like your voice is what connects you to the world. And so being able to use that in a way uh, should be, I agree, just like learning entrepreneurship should be part of what you learn in school, but especially when you want to go start a business. So they need to come to you to get to get covered and to really have that protection going in so that that you're freed up to just create your business. And I feel part of that too is that you free up your voice so that you can connect with other people to share your business and to draw the people. When you're being authentic and speaking with a true voice, you are magnetic to the people that you're meant to work with.
There's my favorite word again, magnetic. I love it.
Yeah, well, you own it. You you embody it.
I love it, Peggy. I love it. As far as training, training goes, you can train anyone, anywhere in the world. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. That's a big yes. That's a huge yes. Anyone, anywhere in the world. Because we're an international show.
Ah, wow, it's a great show. You're my fave. But it's been fun. I've been working with some people in England and different places in Guam since COVID because it really opened people up in a new way to understand that you really have the ability to work with anyone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes. But be see, I want to say in a nice way, right? Because prior to knowing you, Peggy, I didn't know. I didn't know that someone like you existed. I thought that these speakers, these great presenters, were born as great presenters. But no, they were taught. They actually got some coaching. They got coaching on their voice. Let me give you a prime example of uh, King George, right? He was the father of Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen right now of England.
Mm-hmm.
Her father, King George, he was a stutterer. He was a stutterer. He was born a stutterer. When he would get in front of people, his stuttering would get so bad that he would start shaking. And he's the king of England. The king of England would stutter in front of people. He got some coaching, some voice coaching. He would start off by singing, and he thought it was ridiculous. Why should a king stand there, and why should he sing, and why is he taking directions from some voice coach? This was his demeanor. Why should I be doing that? But as he started working with the coach, his speech, he calmed himself down. He connected, Peggy.
Yeah.
I'm having an epiphany right now. He connected with it. He connected with himself. He stopped the stuttering that he had as a child. He didn't stutter anymore after getting lessons how to use his voice.
Same with my father. My
Wow.
father was a stutterer. And part of it was that he was left-handed, and at that time he was forced to be right-handed. So they let him go back to being left-handed, but he made that connection and shifted and became a sought-after speaker for years.
Yes.
So it's like it's all about connection. First connecting to yourself, and then once you've connected to yourself, then you're able to really connect with other people.
I was having such a hard time just understanding that concept. What do you mean connect to yourself? I am myself. Well, I don't understand, Peggy, but you have such an easy way to work with anyone, and you show them through your techniques how to actually connect with themselves. And Peggy, I would love it, and I know my fantastic listeners and my friends, they would all love it if you could sing a little something for us.
Oh.
I threw you from the loop. I threw a loop, right?
What would I sing? Something to do with let's see. I'm letting go of all that weighs me down, surrendering to this peace I finally found. I'm letting go of doubt and fear till there's only love. Let it shine, shine, shine. Oh, let it shine, shine, shine on me.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm sitting here with goosies, Peggy. I got goosies. Oh my God. What a talent. What a talent. And
thank you.
This is the talent that you bring to others. You truly, you're a gift. Maybe I'm not using the right words, but I'm talking from my heart, Peggy. You are a true gift, and every single one that is an entrepreneur. Because if you're not on stage and you don't want to be a public speaker, that's okay. You still have to connect with your potential clients, with your prospects. And how do you connect with your prospects, right?
Exactly. The people that you're meant to serve are waiting for you.
There you go.
And
there you go.
And your voice is how you're going to connect with them.
Thank you. Thank you. thank you, Peggy, for being
What?
such an incredible guest.
Oh, you are so amazing. Thank you. This was such an honor and great experience for me. Thank you.
Wow. You're my bestie, by the way.
Oh, you're the best. You're my bestie.
Yeah, don't tell John Beethan, our podcast producer.
He's our other bestie.
Yes. Hey, John. He is, yes. But seriously, Peggy, you have become my bestie. And I thank you so much again for being the guest.
Oh, thank you, Kelly.
Absolutely. And my fantastic friends, you have to reach out to Peggy. If any of the guests on the list, first of all, download the app so you can reach my guests personally. You can contact each and every one of them from my app. Go to your app stores, download Go Legal Yourself, and start using it. Email me directly. Contact Peggy directly. What do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. If you do nothing, you gain nothing. If you're serious about your business, if you're serious about gaining more business and turning those prospects into actual clients, how do you communicate with them? Call Peggy, talk to Peggy. What a fantastic, incredible, talented coach she is. And this episode is rightfully titled, Be a Voice of Influence. Be a voice of influence in your home, in your community. Be a voice of influence. And make sure you do check out golegalyourself.com. Do it yourself legal protection. Everybody needs legal protection. I am attorney Kelly Bagla, the Queen of Business Law. It's been my pleasure being your host today. Until next time, cheers to your success.